Once upon a time, there lived a young man named Eddie in a small but serene village situated on the bank of a tranquil long river. Eddie was very generous, soft-spoken, and soft-hearted. Because of these habits of his, people did not hesitate to take advantage of his goodness. This made Eddie feel very bad, as he wondered why people took advantage of his goodness, while he always behaved honestly with them. Whenever Eddie faced any problem or dilemma in his life, he used to get very upset and would rather avoid them instead of facing them bravely. Because of this, other people considered him a weak person. Now this news gradually spread throughout the village, and people stopped living with him because they thought there was nothing to gain by living with him. They believed that if any problem or crisis arose, Eddie would surely run away. Due to this, Eddie's respect and esteem among the people of his village decreased slowly and gradually. Everyone started telling Eddie that he possessed all the qualities of a weak person. All these things started bothering Eddie. He felt very upset and started wondering what qualities he had that made him weak. Despite his efforts, Eddie was not finding answers to his questions, and the problems in his life were only getting worse. Therefore, in order to find peace, he went to the riverbank of his village, sat down, and closed his eyes. After a while, he remembered an idea that an old friend of his had told him about a famous Buddhist monk who was adept at finding solutions to any problem. The Buddhist monk resided in his monastery, nestled among the towering mountains with his peaceful disciples. The path to the Buddhist monastery was very arduous. Sitting near the peaceful river, Eddie made up his mind to visit the wise Buddhist master to seek his guidance and spiritual support. As soon as morning came, Eddie left his house to meet the Buddhist monk and find a solution to his problems. After a grueling and arduous journey, Eddie finally reached the monastery. Upon reaching there, Eddie saw that the master was preaching to his disciples about how to handle the worst situations whenever they arose in their lives. As soon as the master finished his preaching, Eddie presented himself before the master. He respectfully bowed before the master, who gestured for him to sit down. The master asked Eddie about his well-being and later asked him about the problem he needed to resolve. Eddie looked very nervous before the master, so the Buddhist master asked him to calm down first and then share his mental distress. Eddie started narrating his sorrows and pains to the master, which he had been carrying with him all the time. He told the master that whenever he faced any problem, complexity, sorrow or crisis in his life, he would get very upset and break down. He did not understand what to do in those situations. Eddie also mentioned that everyone in his village told him that he possessed all the qualities that weak people have. He had become very upset after hearing this repeatedly. He asked the master to free him from these troubles and tell him what those bad qualities were that made a weak person lag behind others in life and lose respect among people. The renowned and experienced Buddhist monk listened attentively to everything Eddie said. In the twinkling of an eye, the master quickly realized Eddie's mental state and the bad situations and people he had encountered. After contemplating for a while, the master told Eddie, "Eddie, you are not weak at all. This is just how people perceive you, my child." The master continued, "Do you know why you are in this condition? Why do people consider you a weak person instead of understanding you? Listen carefully, Eddie. Most people in this world get scattered and broken when faced with bad situations. Instead, they should face these difficult situations and problems with courage and strength. Eddie, never stress yourself too much over anything, because no matter how bad the situation is, it will definitely change. Nothing is permanent in this material world, even our problems. Nature manages itself so perfectly that if you don't disturb it, everything goes smoothly. That's why I'm going to share with you 4 signs of weak people. These qualities prevent them from achieving what they truly deserve." The master began explaining the first weak quality of weak people to Eddie. He said that weak people are always afraid of new changes and bad situations. They often try to appear strong on the outside, but are actually very cowardly on the inside. They easily get upset by even the slightest bad situation or problem and try to run away from any negative situation. A strong person, on the other hand, may or may not be physically strong, but they are definitely strong in their mind. This mental strength sets them apart from weak people. A person with a strong mind does not try to run away from bad situations and problems. Instead, they deal with them using wisdom and courage. The difference between a hero and a coward is just one step sideways. It is always better to be the widow of a hero than the wife of a coward. So, if you have this bad habit, leave it today itself and forever. The master then proceeded to explain the second characteristic of weak people to Eddie. He said that people with weak characteristics are generally afraid of failure. They always step back from doing something new because they fear failure. They have a lot of doubts about themselves. The master emphasized that only those who are not afraid to take risks can win in the race of life. The strongest people are not always the ones who win, but the ones who never give up when they lose. Therefore, if you want to be strong, learn to walk and fight alone. Never doubt your worth and never doubt yourself. To become stronger, you must face your weaknesses. Don't let the fear of failure keep you away from your destiny. The master then moved on to the third lesson for Eddie. He explained that weak people do not believe in themselves and their abilities. They are always suspicious of their merits. Believing in oneself is a fundamental cornerstone of personal growth, resilience, and success. It is a belief that encapsulates the notion that we possess the inner strength, abilities, and potential to overcome challenges, pursue our goals, and lead a fulfilling life. Self-belief fosters self-confidence. When we trust in our abilities, we exude confidence, which not only influences our own actions, but also how others perceive us. This, in turn, can open doors to new opportunities and relationships. Moreover, self-belief acts as a driving force. It propels us forward, motivating us to set ambitious goals and persevere in the face of adversity. Without a firm belief in our capabilities, we may be hesitant to take risks or pursue our dreams, often settling for mediocrity instead. Believing in oneself is like having a powerful inner cheerleader that encourages us to step out of our comfort zones and explore our full potential. Additionally, self-belief plays a crucial role in resilience. Life is filled with setbacks and challenges, and it is our belief in ourselves that enables us to bounce back from these hardships. When we trust that we can navigate difficulties and learn from failures, we become more adaptable and better equipped to handle life's curveballs. It is the belief that even in the darkest of times, we have the strength to endure and ultimately thrive. Self-belief also fosters a positive mindset. When we believe in ourselves, we tend to focus on solutions rather than problems, emphasizing our abilities rather than dwelling on limitations. This optimistic outlook can improve mental well-being and help us maintain a sense of hope even when facing daunting circumstances. In conclusion, believing in oneself is a powerful and transformative mindset that underpins personal growth, resilience, and success. It empowers us to face challenges, pursue our dreams, and maintain a positive outlook on life. While self-belief may not eliminate all obstacles, it equips us with the confidence and determination needed to overcome them, making it an essential ingredient in the recipe for a fulfilling and meaningful life. After imparting 3 important characteristics of weak people, the old Buddhist master began explaining the 4th characteristic to Eddie. He said that weak people are very apologetic by nature. They apologize to everyone, whether it is their fault or not, as apologizing becomes a habit for them. Because of this habit, they lose their reputation among society, friends, and relatives. Eventually, people stop giving them importance. While apologizing is an essential social tool for acknowledging wrongdoing, showing empathy, and mending relationships, over-apologizing can diminish the sincerity and impact of our apologies when they are genuinely needed. It can also foster a culture of unnecessary guilt and self-doubt, which can be detrimental to one's self-esteem and mental well-being. Furthermore, constant apologies can reinforce a sense of insecurity and subservience, particularly when apologizing for things beyond one's control or for asserting one's own needs and boundaries. It is crucial to distinguish between situations where apologies are warranted, such as when we have genuinely hurt someone or made a mistake, and those where they are not, such as expressing our opinions or asserting our rights. Eddie was able to find solutions to his problems through the master's guidance. He stood up and thanked the master for imparting him with 4 valuable lessons to transform his life and guide him with profound wisdom in the hardest times. I hope you liked this motivational story.